In this video, I would like to explain about the nursing management of a patient with COVID. So we know that in the COVID care, we are the only persons who are there throughout the day with the patient. So all the others are coming and going, and they are not staying there for a long time. So we are the only persons who are there with the patient throughout the day. So we have a major role in taking care of COVID-19 patient. At the same time, we have a major role in protecting ourselves, protecting our co-workers, protecting other patients, and protecting the society from getting infection. I hope you know that there is a phrase called nothing is emergency in case of a pandemic. Nothing is emergency, nothing can be perfect in case of a pandemic. Otherwise, we used to be uh, perfect and we used to act fast. So in case of pandemic, nothing is important, nothing is emergency, nothing is perfect. So that point you must remember. So next I am going to explain about what we have to do when we take care of a patient with COVID-19. So when we receive the patient itself, what we will do, we will make sure that which category this patient belong to, whether this patient is a suspect case, whether this patient is a confirmed case, and if the patient is a confirmed case, whether this patient is asymptomatic or symptomatic, or with a mild disease, or with a moderate disease, or with a severe disease, or with a complications and critical illness. So like that we have to identify the patient. So from the first point of contact itself, we will be dealing with the patient using the full PPE. So with the full PPE, we will be collecting the history of the patient, that is history of contact, history of travel, history of residing in an area of local transmission. Like that, the detailed history we will be collecting in order to know the type of infection and the real incident in this patient. And along with that, we can identify the primary contacts and secondary contacts of this particular person. So like that, we will be collecting the history from the patient. And we may not be able to collect history if the patient is sick. So we will be examining, we will be assessing the vital signs. The temperature will be more than 100, pulse may be more than 100, respiratory rate may be more than 26, and BP may be hypotension or hypertension, water. So many alteration in the vital signs. The hemodynamically unstable patient may be hemodynamically unstable, patient may be having low oxygen saturation, patient condition may rapidly deteriorate, patient may be coming okay, and rapidly patient condition may deteriorate. So we must be vigilant about the hemodynamic stability, oxygen saturation status, etc. So based on that, we will be the doctors and the nurses together, they will be deciding about the investigations and the management and all. If the patient is in a severely ill with a very low saturation and all, then we have to go for the mechanical intubation and the mechanical ventilation and all. So like that, based on the type of the patient, from the mild case up to the severely critically ill patient, we will be deciding what to do first and what to do next, after assessing the airway, breathing and circulation, as in case of any other cases. So during all this process, we must take care of ourselves, we must be wearing full PPE. So that is there. So after the taking the specimen and after collecting the blood and after administering the immediate medications, we will be stabilizing the patient. Sometimes we have to, from the casualty, we have to shift the patient one for the rest and comfort of the patient. We are responsible for the sleep related problems of our patient. So like that, we have so many responsibilities. So if the patient is with mild symptom or moderate symptom, we will not be having that much difficulty in ICU and all. If we are taking care of a severely ill patient, we must be with the patient throughout the day, and we must be taking care of all the basic needs of the patient, along with administration of medication and along with other procedures like management of ventilator and all. So that is the type of responsibilities in that will be based on the clinical features of the patient and the severity of illness of the patient. Then other usual responsibilities include, we are responsible for informing the reports, we are responsible for getting the reports, we are responsible for informing the patient's condition to the patient's relatives. The patient's relatives are not allowed inside, so patient's relatives must be informed about patient condition. That is another important responsibility. Then we must contact the doctors to inform the patient's condition. Then we must contact the lab people to get the investigation reports. So there are so many non-nursing responsibilities also. Then we are responsible for the maintenance of the records related to the PP usage and all. Then we are responsible for waste collection. We are responsible for the duties of the nursing assistants. We are responsible for the duties of the clinic staff. We are responsible for the duties of the doctors. We must see that all are doing the things properly, all are wearing the PP properly, all are doffing the PP properly. Then we have to see that our patient is taken care of properly. Patient's vital signs are normal, patient is getting medications, patient's investigations, specimens are taken. All those are our responsibility. We cannot go frequently to the patient, so what we have to do is we have to call the patient and we have to inquire about the patient condition. If the patient is not attending the call, suddenly we must go. I am talking in case of a stable patient or a mild patient with a mild disease. In severe illness, we will be there with the patient, and severely ill patient will be there in the ICU only. So then we will be there throughout the day, along with the at the bedside we will be there. So these are the different things when we take care of a COVID-19 patient. Then another thing I want to tell is, because of this extended use of PP, because of the limited resources, we are forced to use the PP for long time. That is called as the extended use of PP. So because of the extended use of PP, so many problems nurses are facing. That is, nurses, because of this continuous usage, there will be headache, there will be lacrimation, there will be running nose. Then there will be problem with the urination, and the nurse may develop UTI. All these are the few examples of physical problems of nurses. Then psychological problems, like the nurse will become depressed or anxious and frustrated because of this heavy duty. Duty means the nurse has to communicate with the patient, and the nurse, sometimes the end of life issues must be taken care of. Sometimes the do not resuscitate order, sometimes the advanced directives. So the nurse has a major legal and ethical role in this taking care of a severely ill COVID-19 patient. So nurse has to decide for the patient, nurse has to talk for the patient, nurse must act as a patient advocate, nurse must talk for the patient to the doctor, to the relatives. Nurse has to inform the relatives about the patient's condition. So nurse is overloaded with a lot of responsibilities, that is reporting to the doctors, reporting to the patient relatives, and managing the nursing assistants, managing the attenders, and getting the investigation reports, informing the investigation reports. Apart from the nurses responsibility, nurses responsibilities are there, that is we are attending the hygienic needs and nutrition needs, elimination needs, we are administering the medications, we are collecting the specimens. So the nurse has a lot of responsibility. Nobody will understand the bulk or the quantum of duties a nurse is doing when she is taking care of a COVID-19 patient. So because of all these, the nurse will be having frustration and burnout because of this heavy responsibility. Okay, so another important thing is the fear of infection. That is, the nurse will be scared of getting infection, and the nurse will be getting scared of spreading infection to her family members. And the nurse, in the family there will be problems because of the prolonged duty, and there will be social isolation because the nurse is coming from the hospital, so there will be chance of social isolation. The relatives, the friends and the neighbors may isolate the nurse. So there are so many problems a nurse face, that is physical problem, psychological problem, social problem, legal problem, ethical problem. And along with that, there will be problem with the co-workers, there will be problem with the supervisors, there may be problem with the health team members, and managing the psychological symptoms of the patient. So we know that now the patients are showing so many psychological symptoms like delirium, agitation, anxiety, depression and all. So the nurses are the only one who is facing this. So it is really a challenge for the nurse to face all this, and managing the physical problems, managing the psychological problems, managing the relatives, managing the attenders, managing the nursing assistants, managing the doctors, and coordinating everything for the well-being of the patient. So a nurse is undergoing a severe stress that all should understand the burden or the load of or the quantum of work a nurse is doing. When I asked a few of my friends who are taking care of COVID-19 patients, they have experienced and they have shared their experiences. That is because of this prolonged use of PP, that is called extended use of PP. Because of that, they are facing headache. Then there is lacrimation. There is nasal congestion. Running nose is there. Then they are feeling anxious and agitated and frustrated, and these are some few physiological and physical and psychological problems of the nurses. Then they are facing so many ethical problems, that is the patient may be dying, the patient may go into the severe illness, and the patient may be patient has to decide certain things, or the patient may require advanced directives, or some legal and ethical issues are there, that it is sometimes there is a do not resuscitate orders must be carried out. Like that, they are facing so many uh, legal and ethical critical moments in the ICU because of this rapid deterioration in the patient's condition. Some patients may rapidly progress into the severe form of illness and they may require ventilation. Sometimes their relatives might have told that there is no need to resuscitate the patient, and the nurse has to act as a patient advocate, and the nurse has to speak for the patient. The nurse has to speak for the patient to the other health team members. Nurse has to speak for the patient to the doctors. So like that, so many issues the nurses are facing. Then apart from that, limited resources, that is another major problem, that is the nurses may be short of the supplies and equipments in the unit because of the number of cases, increasing number of COVID-19 patients. There may be lack of gloves, there may be lack of PP, so that is why they are using extended that is called extended use of PP. So the patients are frustrated, the nurses are frustrated, so it is really a burnout for the nurses. That is one problem. Then the nurses may have the fear of getting infection, and the nurses may be having the fear of getting transmitting infection from them to their family members, the nurses' own family members. And thus the nurses may be facing the problems in the family because of the this long duty time and all. The nurses may be transmitting infection to her family members, and the nurses may be facing social problems like social isolation from the neighbors and from the relatives because of the COVID duty. And so many problems the nurses are facing because of this pandemic or the global health crisis, we know. So what we must remember that in case of a pandemic, there is no emergency. That you must remember. There is no emergency in case of a pandemic. So it is important to protect yourself and protect your co-workers and protect other patients. That is important than sometimes saving the life of this one single patient. So that you must remember. So in case of pandemic, there is no emergencies. So what you have to give what you have to remember is you must give preference, you must prioritize what must be done first and what must be done next. So this must be remembered, that is the life of a single patient should be considered in that way, and the life of many persons, that is including you, other health workers and other patients, that is more important than saving the life of a single patient. So you must take all precautions, especially when you are taking care of patients with severe illness, when you are doing aerosol generating procedures, or when you are having close interaction with the patient, or when you are going to feed the patient, you may have to be there when the patient is on a CPAP or a high flow nasal oxygen. Then you will be disconnecting it and you will be feeding the patient. At that time of disconnecting, when you are if you are not switching off the machine, what will happen? With the high pressure, this air will come into the mask, and whatever virus are there in the mask, that virus will be dispersed in the air. So what you have to do is, before starting feeding, what you have to do is you have to switch off the uh, machine, and then you can remove the mask and feed the patient. Otherwise also what you can do is you can disconnect the this CPAP machine from the ventilator tubings that is next to the viral filter, so that the mask the air will not come forcefully into the mask and it will not disperse. So such things you must be very very careful. Then even with the PP, if donning you may do it properly and you may be taking care of the patient properly, but at the time of dosing, if you are not doing the things properly, the virus will get into your hand and you may touch your eyes, or this is called T-zone, that is the eyes and the nose and the mouth. So if you touch there, it can result in transmission of infection to you.